Talked about the Knicks, Pacers. Talked about my Celtics and how angry I was about them losing, but not really because I really didn't think they had enough in them to win anyway. And now we're going to get to my New York Mets. I'm not going to spend too much time in the New York Mets. I like talking about the Mets when they're doing well. I like talking about the Mets when they're not doing well. I wear my fandom on my sleeve. I am a New York Mets fan through and through. I got 4 sports that I follow. 2 I follow religiously. I got teams. You can't take those teams away from me. And it's been a suffering time for me being a Mets fan and a Jets fan. I already went through my Celtics fandom. And if you really want to get down to it, I'm an Islander fan. Yeah, an Islander fan. They got the first pick this year in the draft. I don't know too much about hockey. I'm hoping Kevin knows a little bit about hockey because I like to get into that. But those are my teams, and these are my Mets. And I got a son upstairs that's the same as me. We watch these games, and we think that they're just going to win every single game. Even when they suck, we just think they're going to win every single game. But the last 2 years, there was something going on over there in Citi Field. Last year, Mets were down 8-0 going into the 4th inning, 5th inning, 6th inning. They would come back and win baseball games. This was 5, 6, 7 years ago. I turned that off in the 3rd inning. You know why? Because we're building a team of savages. I said it. You know what? I shouldn't say savages because Aaron Boone called his team savages, and I have to rethink that. But the Mets are becoming a full team of guys that trust each other. They're trusting their pitchers. They're trusting their lineup. Juan Soto, I don't care about how Juan Soto is doing right now. And I sure as shit don't care about the fact that he's making $700 million. I pay his salary in a roundabout way, but if I was that goddamn mad at it, I wouldn't go to a Met game. I wouldn't buy my Francisco Lindor jerseys. I wouldn't take my son to 6, 7, 8 games a year. I wouldn't do those things. I wouldn't do a sports talk show. I wouldn't talk about sports. I love sports. I am not giving him $700 million. The richest owner in professional sports is giving him that amount of money. Is he not performing the way he should on the field right now for a $700 million player? What is a $700 million player, really? It's really just comparable to how much money is being put into these teams as the years go on. I bet if you ask Francisco Lindor if he's mad about his $700 million contract, guarantee leader that he is would probably say no. I got my contract over $300 million. That was the going rate at the time. Shohei Ohtani bumped that shit up to over $700 million. I don't get it with Juan Soto. Not that I don't get it. I don't get not that I don't get the money. I get the money because that's where it is right now. But what I don't get is everybody comparing his talent to his contract or his will to win to his contract or his stuff he's got going home to his contract. I'm going to look at Juan Soto right now. Just give me a second to talk about Juan Soto for 1 second. And I'm probably not even going to talk to Juan Soto really from a baseball perspective because at the end of the day, what I'm going to say is going to go back to how I feel is affecting his baseball prowess at the moment. This man signed a $700 million contract. $700 million. We all know the stories. We all know Juan Soto spent a week in the minors, was sleeping on a shitty bed. Coach came downstairs to apologize for the accommodations. Must have said it in Spanish, whatever language he was speaking at the time. He said, "Don't worry, coach, I'm not going to be here long. Next week, he's in the major leagues." Juan Soto's accomplished more at 26 years old than most baseball players accomplish in their entire lives. I'm just talking regular, you make it to the Major League Baseball, that's the pinnacle of your career. You're a Major League Baseball player. Juan Soto has done more than probably about 70% of Major League Baseball players will ever do in their career at the age of 26. Do I wish he was batting over 300? Yeah, I do. Do I wish he was hitting home runs left and right? I do. What I do think, though, is he was affecting the rest of the lineup. Pete was hitting almost 400. Again, I know it's the beginning of the season. Lindor's having a season. Look, Lindor hadn't had a hit in a couple of nights. Hadn't had a home run since May 11th. Hit a home run last night. I'm going to go off on him and not go off on him. I'm going to talk about him in a second. You know, I love my Lindor. But Soto, you have to look at Soto, the man, and Soto, where he comes from and who he is. We don't know much about Juan Soto. You know, he's from a country that is very poor. We know that he's got a big family. We know the family's very important for Juan Soto because if you listen to Michael K is such a douche. And it's when I look, it's when I listen to people like Michael K and Francesa and some of these guys on these radio sports talk shows, or these thinking that they're like on first name basis with these players. And, Francesa used to, with his Guardy and his Booney and his stupid, him and Michael K for that reason used to drive me up a wall. Who's Michael K to turn around and tell the public that I have an inside source that says that Juan Soto wanted to still be a Yankee? But his family was more important. His family liked the presentation from Steve Cohen and the New York Mets. Bottom line is he took the most money. I don't care if he's unhappy with the team he chose. He chose the money. That's it. Bottom line. So the fact that he chose the money and he says he's rethinking, no, stop it, Michael K. He heard $765 million and my family will be taken care of in these boxes or whatever they're doing for the family over there. Apparently, the Mets make it a very family-oriented atmosphere. The Yankees don't. I don't know how true that is. That's just speculation. Just like speculation, the fact that Juan Soto didn't want to be a Yankee. His family wanted to be a Met. It's bullshit. He's a man, and he's making $700 million. Now, think about this for a second. You grow up in a country where you're eating dirt. You learn how to play baseball at a very young age. You learn how to get into a system or manipulate a system where you become the guy that gets on that little rubber boat and you get over here and you play baseball. That is a privilege. So you come here and you make a lot of money and you still have those family members over there. Now, all those family members are going to say, okay, I'm coming to the United States of America because my cousin, my son, my brother, my sister, whatever it may be, is going to take care of us for the rest of our lives now. Think about if somebody that wins lotto. If you live in your dirt poor and you win the lotto and all of a sudden you win $100 million, you're going to get phone calls from everybody on the face of the planet. He's probably screening phone calls. He's probably got girls calling him. He's probably even got girls calling him up saying that they're pregnant with his baby. He's got a lot of stuff going on in his mind. Let's just disconnect for the fact for a moment that he's a $700 million baseball player. And let's look at him from a microcosm of him being just a man. Okay. I talk a lot about stuff that men go through on my podcast, and it's true, guys. I talk about a lot of stuff that we're our own worst enemy. And I think that if right now, from that kind of perspective, it's kind of like he's got a lot going on in his head right now. And I know $700 million is an awful lot of money to make a lot of that stuff go away, but it invites other stuff. It invites shadiness. It invites, who are you and why do you want $1 million? So being that he is this family guy, being that he is this guy that loves his family, he's got to have hundreds of people trying to get over on that rubber boat and mooch off the Juan Soto money tree. He's got it, but it's kind of like he's got to pick and choose who he wants. No, it's no picking and choosing. You have $700 million. You're from a dirt poor country. And let's look at that for a second. Let's look at the distractions that he has in his life right now. He doesn't look like a guy that's just giving up. I got my $700 million. He looks like a guy that's at a crossroads. He looks like a guy that was at the plate last night. He struck out 3 times last night. Every single time he struck out, he looked like a guy who had something else on his mind. And it's not good stuff. He's got other stuff on his mind. He's going to break out, guys. And for everybody out there that's ha ha ha, look what you got. And the Yankee fans, stop the bullshit, guys. Just stop it. I don't care what's going on over there in the Bronx. I truly don't. You want to get on here and talk to me Yankees, Mets? I don't care. You guys have been around for 100 years. The Mets have been around since 1962. It's New York baseball. New York baseball. And the fans on both sides make it really hard to watch a baseball game from the other side. But I do. Aaron Judge is over there doing stuff that no baseball player has and will ever do in the history of the sport. Aaron Judge, why do I call him Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Judge is playing at a level right now that's never been seen. If he keeps this up, he's going to hit, no, I'm paraphrasing, he's going to hit like 100 home runs, have 200 RBIs, and bat 450. I mean, that right there is the greatest thing that's ever going to be done in sports. Pulling for him, rooting for him, because you know why? Because again, I don't care what goes on over there. I don't care that we lost 2 of 3 in Yankee Stadium. You want to laugh? That's fine. I barely even care about that. They're going to come to Citi Field. You know what? I got plenty of Yankee fan friends that are going to try and break my chops. We take, listen, we go 3-0 against the Yankees in Citi Field. You know what I'm going to say to you guys? I don't care. Let's go. I'll see you in November. Because the way both teams are playing right now, you're not going to win 162 baseball games a year. The way this team is playing, there's going to be ebbs and flows, ups and downs, injuries. People are going to play hard. People are not going to play hard. But New York has 2 baseball teams right now that are playing very well. New York Yankees, just keep doing what you do in the American League. I got to worry about the Phillies. I got to worry about the Braves. We got the Dodgers coming in for some games. Then we're going to LA. Dodgers are our target right now. The Dodgers are the team that we have to meet them in the playoffs coming up. And again, I know I'm putting the horse before the cart when I say playoffs. Baseball's a marathon, not a sprint. There's a lot of games, but they are sitting at 30-20 right now. 30-20 is a pretty good record. It's one of the tops in the major leagues. They're in second place behind the Phillies. As a matter of fact, after last night's win, I think Phillies lost. I'm not really sure, but Phillies lost last night. The Mets are back in first place. You look at a Braves team that almost got 24 wins, and they are not playing like the Braves of the past. But Acuna is coming back. That could go either way. If you remember correctly, 2 years ago, Acuna missed the entire season. They still won the World Series. But something's going on over there in Atlanta. I'm not going to go into it too much because I hope it keeps going on. I hope it gets contagious. I hope it goes to the Phillies. I hope it goes to the Dodgers. Because the Braves don't look like the Braves. But again, it's a long season. Strider with his stupid mustache, right? He's pitching pretty good. He came back the other night. Baseball is a great sport. Baseball is not a good sport. Baseball is a great sport. And for the people who love it, it's a passion. We have our lives. We're fathers. We're brothers, sisters, husbands. We have stuff that happens throughout our day. It's monotonous. One of the highlights of my day when I come home from work at night, I kiss my wife, kiss my kids. Sitting down watching a baseball game on a summer night, all 9 innings, is so relaxing. And I know a lot of people out there need 100% go, football, basketball. Love those sports. Do not get me wrong. I love those sports. But to sit down and watch 9 innings of a baseball game, I think I've said this before. If you watch a football game from kickoff, it's one big moment. One big moment means the kickoff, people are getting hit, people are catching the ball, people are running, people are just trying to score points. And there's kind of a mind game going on there with defense and offense. But if you want to think about a baseball game is a bunch of great moments built into that one last moment. That one last moment where Pete Alonso sends your team into the playoffs by hitting a home run off Devin Williams. Still, just even thinking of that. That's why baseball is great. Pete could have struck out in that spot, but he hit a home run. The ups and downs of baseball are why it's so great. And to have a team that I'm looking at right now, like the New York Mets, that I'm never giving up on them this year. They could be down 14 runs, but I still think that they're going to come back. Got Luis Torrens. Now, I love Francisco Alvarez. He's got great energy. Great energy. He's got 1 home run. This kid's supposed to be home run, banging 20, 30 home runs a year. One thing's a really good catcher. He's throwing people out. Still think he's a little immature, but that's okay. We got Luis Torrens. 2 hits again last night. Guy's throwing people out. Mets got two catchers on this roster that are catchers. They're not just, now look, we had Mike Piazza. Was Mike Piazza a great catcher? He's a great hitting catcher. Defensively, not so much. We got two catchers that can do both. Are they going to be the best of all time? Who knows? Maybe Alvarez might be one of the best catchers of all time. Maybe Alvarez is working a lot on his catching game and kind of like saying the hitting will come. Because if I'm starting a team, I would rather have a Benito Santiago than a Mike Piazza. Don't get me wrong, Mike Piazza is great, but Benito Santiago as a catcher saves you runs. He does his research. And I know I'm going way back Benito Santiago, but that's just one of the guys that I can remember being in awe of, watching him throw people out from his knees. In a time we have Ricky Henderson and people like that stealing bases on a daily basis. He was throwing people out from his knees. Alvarez said at one time that he likes watching old videos of him. We'll keep watching those videos. The hits are going to come. Terens, you're doing a good job filling in, but I know you're getting up there in age a little bit. Hopefully, we're going to have Alvarez there the rest of our, for the rest of his career. 2, I've been all over Brett Beatty. Watched him play last year, said to myself on numerous occasions, Brett Beatty doesn't even deserve to be on the baseball field. Brett Beatty looks like he's a really, really, really good AAA ball player. He's going to hit 500. There's going to be like, oh my God, look how he's doing down the minors. Maybe we should bring him up. The minute he comes up, gets stage fright again. I know there's a certain amount of times we can send a player back and forth, but he's tried real hard to not get sent back down. Last week in the loss, 6 RBIs. Last night, some more hits, some more RBIs, another home run the other night. Brett Beatty's clinging on to every inch of baseball so he can make this team, because he knows like the rest of the guys on this team, he knows that they're going to be making some noise in the playoffs, and he wants to be a part of this. And if he wants to be a part of this, keep playing the way you've been playing, because you might not be an everyday guy. He's showing some flashes with the glove at second base, maybe third base. Vientos isn't making it easy on him to become the everyday starting third baseman, because he's kind of locking in the bat a little bit. Maybe he's getting his sophomore jinx this year. But between Beatty and Vientos, we got 2 guys that are fighting for a spot on that team. Another kid fighting for a spot on that team is Acuna. I love him, Acuna. Love him. Kid does everything right. Made a little bit of a base running, which is weird. He's fast. He steals bases. Made a little bit of a base running blunder last night. I guess he should have been at third. But I don't know, man. He should be our everyday second baseman. And I say get rid of Jeff McNeil. Jeff McNeil, we could package with a bunch of guys, maybe get a pitcher or something. I mean, I know who's going to really want Jeff McNeil, but Jeff McNeil adds some substance to a baseball team that's looking for a second baseman that hits 240. Who knows? Maybe he's having some problems in his locker room. Maybe people don't like him. He looks like a douche to me, I don't know. But doesn't have to be a nice guy to play baseball. But there does have to be some kind of cohesion. There has to be some kind of, everybody likes each other, But cohesion and liking each other on a team, I think I misspoke on that. I see cohesion could come with people not liking each other. Because from what I understand, nobody on the Bulls liked Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan was fine with that. As long as you went out there and gave 100%, you weren't getting punched in the face. You weren't getting screamed at. You want to look at a guy like him? He leads by example. He'll punch you in the face on the court. He'll yell and scream at you to pick it up, but nobody is going to outwork people like him. You have to be like that. You have to be a person that nobody's going to outwork me. Nobody's going to outdo me. And when that person is getting close to outworking you, you just work harder and harder. That's what life's about. There's no second place in life. We've been having this conversation the last couple of days. Sports at a young age, as a microcosm, it's very important. Very important for competitive nature. It's very important for teamwork. It's very important for self-confidence. This is what it's all about. It's all about winning at the end of the day. Baseball, unfortunately, you got 162 games you're going to lose here and there. You can't take every loss to heart, because you know why? The great thing about baseball is you could lose the night before, and the next night, your hero could hit a grand slam, like Francisco Lindor did last year against the Philadelphia Phillies. That, after the Pete Alonso home run against Milwaukee, my all-time favorite moment watching baseball was when Francisco Lindor hit that home run against the Philadelphia Phillies. Watching him jog around those bases, watching his confidence going through his head at that moment. I don't know if it was exact. I'm just kind of like reading body language, but what are you guys all cheering about? This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm the star of this team, and they asked me to do it, and I did it. So jog around that field with confidence. Love it. Listen, you could get excited because that's a very exciting moment. You don't knock nobody for that because it's an exciting moment. But you also have to take consideration and watch these men that walk onto the field and walk onto the bases like they're supposed to be there and they're supposed to do it. That's just what they do. I know I get out on Aaron Judge a lot. Aaron Judge struck out the other night to end the Mets game. Again, I know I get on him. I'm not getting on him at that moment because he's Aaron Judge of the Yankees. I'm getting on him because he's batting almost 500. He's the best player on the planet. And everybody just expects him to hit the ball and hit a home run and win the game all the time. Baseball, it's not always going to happen. It's not always going to be that. Aaron Judge gets up, and that's why pitching around players, I get it. I mean, they once walked Barry Bonds with the bases loaded. And I forgot who the coach was that did it. The coach says that was the best move he ever made that game. I actually think they won the game. But when you pitch around players, it gives them a little bit of more. But Bonds and Judge, I think, were two different personalities. Judge, nice guy. You know, he's a family guy. He's married. Never hear anything bad about him. He probably says shoot and darn. You know, Bonds, when he saw that look in your eyes that you were afraid, you were in trouble. Nobody was striking him out in a big spot. Judge got up to bat against the Mets, and he struck out. It's okay. Happens. It's baseball. But you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to get a hit. It's the Mets bullpen, which is pitching pretty well, by the way. I'm not saying anything wrong about the Mets bullpen, but you're Aaron Judge. Back in the day, I would have said the same thing. You're Ted Williams. You're Mickey Mantle. You know, you're Keith Hernandez. You know, you're Barry Bonds. Name your favorite or greatest basketball player that's ever lived. Yeah, you need to do something in that position because you are the guy. And you know what? Fortunately, I'm going to say something really crazy right now. I'll take Francisco Lindor on my team any day of the week over Aaron Judge. And I know that's going to sound crazy, but the two-way appeal of a player to me is a lot more than, and again, taking nothing away from Judge's defense, but he has dropped balls in big spots. Not taking anything away from the fact that he got injured last year. He ran into the wall. All right, look, Yankee fans, I know E-dubs out there, you know, ruined his year. Don't run into the wall. He did. But that just shows me that you're 6'8" and you are human. Stuff can happen to you. So to say that Aaron Judge should have hit a home run to tie the game against the Mets the other night, it's a little bit of pressure on a guy, right? You know, it's a little bit of pressure on a guy like Lindor to think that every time he gets up, I think he's going to hit a home run. Every time Pete gets up, he's going to hit a home run. And it's all the way people take this pressure. They take it to heart, or do they take that pressure and eat it? Do they take that pressure and say, I want this pressure. I want this on my shoulders. Last year against the Phillies, that home run, give me the ball. I want this home run. I was supposed to do this. Aaron Judge bobbling a ball in center field for the Yankees, not so much. So let's hope that Aaron Judge gets over that one little tiny part of his mentality of the game, and he will probably go down in history as the greatest baseball player that ever lived. But he's still got a little bit to go. He's still got a World Series to win. He lost last year against the Dodgers. And I say you, I mean the Yankees, because you are the face of the Yankees right now. You are Aaron Judge. You're the captain of the New York Yankees. So you got to win a championship now. Is this going to be the year? Last year wasn't, because you ran into a Dodgers team that just kicked the shit out of my team and just ran roughshod through the entire major leagues. This year they look a little beatable. Ohtani looks like right now Ohtani looks like a really, really, really good baseball player, but not Shohei Ohtani. That could change as well. The Mets, top three, you guys were 6, 440 in 5 games. You broke out last night with a home run by Lindor. Pete is coming back to earth a little bit. Pete's batting 284. Like I said, he's come back to earth a little bit, but you know what, though? That's to be expected. Tyler McGill last night, 10 strikeouts in 4 innings. A couple little bobbles in the field, a couple little miscues, bad throw by Pete. I don't know. Does he stay in that game longer? 10 strikeouts in 4 innings, and you take him out? Tyler McGill is pitching great this year. Tyler McGill is probably our ace at the moment, even though his record doesn't show it. Because last night, he got hurt by a couple of, miscues. The other night, he got shelled. Listen, your pitchers are going to get shelled. Your number one pitchers are going to get shelled here and there. That happened the other night. Clay Holmes. Oh, Clay Holmes, Yankee fans. No, the Yankee fans. Oh, good luck with Clay Holmes. Yeah, good luck with Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes is pitching great right now. I'll take him. Can he pitch 200 innings, 210, 220? I hope so. So I'm hoping that that's where they're going to be come then. Come July, you know what? Mets are in first place. Mets are probably going to be in the playoffs. That's the record show. Get a pitcher. Get somebody big. Get somebody that's on a team right now that's not going anywhere. Let's start. And I don't know what we have, but right now, what we have down there, what we have on the field, you get something together and send somebody somewhere to get a dog as a starting pitcher. I don't even know when Manaea is going to come back. I was so pumped for him. Got that new arm slot pitch that he's doing. Awesome at the end of the season last year. Senga's looking good. Senga looks like a guy that could give us 200 innings this year. That ghost fork, unhittable. Unhittable. It's too bad he can't throw it every single pitch of the game, but then they'll definitely catch on to it. But throw 95, 96, 97, then hit him with the ghost fork. Let's go, Senga. Got you. That's our number 2. David Peterson. David Peterson did exactly what I thought David Peterson was going to do this year. David Peterson, wow, I didn't think he was going to do as good as he's doing right now. Then he came back down to earth a little bit and pitching pretty good. But we're going to get into the dog days of summer with baseball, and the pitching's going to get tired. Players are going to get tired. Francisco Lindor plays baseball every single game. He's not coming out of that baseball game. He had a baby last year and let the coach pull him out of the game. Francisco Lindor, making a bold statement right now, and I've said it before, is my favorite baseball player. Yeah. Kind of weird, right? Years and years I've been watching baseball. Francisco Lindor is my favorite baseball player. Doing a podcast next week with somebody when I talk about if your favorite team and your favorite player coincide. Loved Francisco Lindor the minute he got into the major leagues, and he said he gets with the pitcher at the beginning of every game, wants to know what the signs are because he wants to know what the pitcher is going to throw so he knows where to position himself on the field. He said that when he was on the Cleveland Indians. That's the first interview I saw with him. From that day forward, I love shortstops, and this is my guy. So when he went to the Mets, I was a little easy on him. Not easy, but everybody was killing him. He wasn't doing too well when he first got with the Mets. But hey, he's our star now. He's our captain. He's my captain anyway. He doesn't wear the C, but he's our captain. Lindor, get these guys together. Lindor, tell these guys they could win. And after you're done talking to them again, grab Soto, go grab a beer, and start talking to your buddy. You guys may not be buddies at this time, but take him, talk to him, tell him how hard it is to play here in New York. He only played for 1 year. Listen, he played in San Diego and he played in Washington. And he also bat behind Aaron Judge last year. That helped a lot. Now, you came in here thinking that you were going to be Aaron Judge. Pete was going to hit 400 just because of you. But you know what? There's something going on. And I think Juan Soto needs a man-to-man conversation with Francisco Lindor, the leader of the New York Mets. Going forward, good luck, New York Mets. We're watching every single game. And I want to be there in October. I want to be there in November. I have 2 teams that I root for that don't give me any joy come playoff time. The Jets won the Super Bowl in 1969. Never seen one. You've heard my story about how I think that Joe Namath sold his soul to the devil. That whole thing. My New York Mets saw them win in 1986. Saw them lose in 2000. Saw them lose in 2015. Ripped my heart out. I have friends that are Yankee fans and Jet fans. that they don't take the Jets losing too bad because, hey, I got the Yankees to fall back on. I have friends that are Giant fans and Met fans. Hey, I got the Giants to fall back on. I'm a Jets and a Mets fan. I'd love to see the Jets win the Super Bowl, although I don't think it's coming anytime soon. I want to see the Mets win the World Series this year. The New York Mets winning the World Series this year would be one of the non-essential, I guess you would say, or one of the greatest things I would be able to witness in my life because I'd be sitting there next to my son and me watching our team win the World Series. Jets could win a Super Bowl, I'd be happy. Mets win a World Series, there'd be tears. There would be absolute tears. And that's the emotional game of baseball. That's how we get so emotionally involved in our teams that we look at the product and we look at our players and we get so emotionally involved sometimes that we think we could tell them how we think they should play. We think we should tell them that you should be doing this or you should be doing that. Let's look and think that these guys are also human beings. $700 million doesn't make you an automatic 400 hitter, no errors, and 100 stolen base guy. All $700 million does is says to you, we think that you're going to do this and we're giving you all this money. Now go try and do it. Pressure? Probably. How they deal with it? We'll see. All right.